Why?
She said you cooking
I
mess.
cook. Oh no, I don't cook in mess. No.
He said you cooking mess. You like the New York wife.
That's a wipe ass.
He said wipe your ass. All pasta?
Why? You trying to say your ass is level?
Don't throw that gorilla out. That brand.
Oh shit.
That's good brand. Very good.
Yo. Is this a good time to say I'm gay? Well, I'm gay.
Team deathmatch. The enemy come to us. Eliminate them. Stay in the lead.
Switching back.
Lost the lead.
Visual on targets. Lucky for you, I was around.
Hostile airstrike near your location. Hostile UAV in the area.
Taking effective fire. Taking fire.
Enemy UAV active. Fire.
Check your damn fire.
Target covered.
Target down. Switching max.
Hostile UAV in the area.
Grenade out.
Throwing flash grenade.
Taking effective fire.
Friendly UAV online.
Grenade out. Changing mags. bags! Grenade out! Grenade out! Whoa!
Oh, I got a triple kill, son. Stop playing with me, bro.
Yo.
Hey, Jason.
GG's.
Oh, no, I went in. So I
Oh my god.
I smoked 3 of those niggas right there. Boy, stop playing with me, son.
That's
playing with
crazy.
Damn.
Playing with me.
They left.
Well, we
They
got
left
busy. We
with
smoked them
three.
niggas, yo.
Oh, fucking 9 hours. What the fuck? God fucking damn. Okay.
Japanese puzzle box. That's on the secret menu. That's what that is.
It's a very, you have to maneuver box. Yeah, exactly. It's very fluid, like, you gotta move it, millimeter or something, something like that. Yeah. I think that'd be crazy. Well, I mean, it sounds like the tolerance is only playing wrong. It's like, you know, it can be hard. It is hard, like, it's not good. I mean, yeah. Myself, in out of this. It's a little bit got it.
I know. I'm good at garbage guns, yo.
In there, bro. Try to get it out of the eye. Not anymore, I think like that. Yeah. Check me out. Is that random, like, really random? Yeah. Like, I've been there for 4 years. I've been drug tested once. But I know a guy, he literally gets drug tested twice a month. No, it's super great test. It's like 4 years old, like, don't discourage women. So it's like, very difficult for yourself. Right. No, it's super random.
Hostile mosquito online.
6, 7.
You play games at all? Yeah, man, I'll play video games this morning. Dude, I couldn't sleep. I didn't. Yeah. No, I didn't have like 2 minutes. Dude, it's so good. Well, I've already definitely been like 40 hours today. Yeah, I got one of the time on it. It takes a long time to get the hang of it. Like, what the hell are you even doing? Yeah. And I thought you know,
Hostile remote turret is active. Enemy UAV active.
No. Oh man.
Right.
Decent. What? Keep your toys over there.
kill. Mission compromised. It's a draw.
You say this is a dream role for you, and there's a very specific reason.
Yes, because it's playing an ideal woman who dies and wakes up in the afterlife in this body.
Yeah.
And you know, usually...
You say this is a dream.
I mean, there was something really different to get something into, and I just felt like I was late.
You say this... It's eight. All right. Oh, it's amazing. And you can stand him too. It's gotta be the coolest thing I've ever seen. All right. Thank you. Is this a stunning time?
Hostile care package. Hostile mosquito is online. Friendly UAV online. package. Hostile advanced UAV overhead. Hostile IMS active. Enemy drone swarms in the air. Stay out of sight.
Somebody incoming!
Hostile secured a remote turret. UAV online.
Grenade!
Hostile mosquitoid online. Hostile care package deployed.
What? Shit, luckily my fucking reflexes are... Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. I have no armor.
Hostile IMS active. Moving hard.
I'm not running away. I'm not a fucking pussy.
Hostile IMS active. The enemy holds the lead. Clock ticking. Friendly
Keep
UAV
your
active.
bitch. I'm dead. Fuck, I'm out of here. I'm not winning this. What?
My fiancée live streamed her bachelorette party. He's pathetic in bed. Should I even marry him? As her friends laughed, I commented, don't bother. Then I sent the video to her dad. I was sitting at my kitchen table Thursday
sure the
night,
whole
laptop
time?
open, transferring the final $3,200 to our wedding caterer. 4 weeks from the big day, checking items off our spreadsheet. My phone buzzed. Dora is live on Instagram now. I figured it would be the usual bachelorette content. Mimosas, silly games, embarrassing photos. I clicked on the stream. There was my fiancée wearing her future Mrs. O'Brien sash, clearly drunk. Her maid of honor Lexi was holding the camera, and 200 plus people were watching. Okay, real talk, Lexi slurred. You're getting locked down next month. How does it feel? Damien's great, you know, Dora said, taking a dramatic swig. He's so stable. She said, stable, like it was a disease. He pays the bills on time. His car is always clean. He remembers to take the trash out every Tuesday. Each thing sounded like she was reading my obituary. But is he fun, though? Someone yelled. Dora leaned into the camera. He's a great provider, she said, doing air quotes. My parents absolutely love him. But God, he's so boring. Like, you guys have no idea. He tries so hard to impress me all the time. It's actually kind of sad. He'll plan these elaborate date nights and get all excited. And I'm just sitting there like she made an exaggerated yawn that got huge laughs. Comments about my appearance, my receding hairline, how I check myself in every mirror. Then came the knockout. And don't get me started about how boring he is in bed, she said. He's so eager to please, but absolutely no idea what he's doing. I have to fake it every single time just to get it over with. The comments exploded. Laughing emojis, brutal messages, people tagging their friends. You're so honest, guys, Dora said, looking directly into the camera. Should I even marry him? The rumor might be crazy. Don't do it, girl comments. Someone yelled, what about Marcus? Dora's eyes lit up. Oh my God, Marcus. She proceeded to describe hooking up with her coworker during their company retreat last month with 200 plus people watching. She was genuinely asking 200 random Instagram strangers if she should marry me instead of talking to the actual guy she was supposed to marry in formal life. Don't bother. Then I started cancel. Wedding venue, caterer, coordinator, professional, polite email. One after another. I copied our wedding spreadsheet.
Oh my God.
Blocked away
4
in seconds. Within an hour, my phone exploded. What did you do? Dora just got an email from the venue.
Dora just got an email from the venue. WTF is going on?
Dora
I put my
called
phone on
53
silent. Dora
times.
called 53 times. The voicemail cycled through every emotion. Confusion, anger, spark.
Then entitled rage. When she showed up Friday afternoon, dragging her suitcase, still in her bachelorette clothes, she was shaking with indignation. You have 5 minutes to explain yourself. Explain what? I looked up from my book. You asked a question. I gave you an answer. Then I acted on it. It was a joke. I was having fun with my friends. Was it a joke when you called me boring and pathetic to hundreds of strangers? When you complained about our intimate life? What about Marcus? Her face went white. She'd forgotten the full extent of her performance. You humiliated me. You commented for everyone to see. You were broadcasting to hundreds of strangers. The humiliation started when you held up our relationship for public ridicule and confessed to cheating. I just ended the show. Her father Isaac called later. He'd heard Dora's version, that I'd had a breakdown over harmless jokes. I sent him the recording. He called back an hour later. Voice completely different. Jesus Christ, Damien. I just watched it. I'm so sorry. I had no idea she could be that cruel. What she did wasn't just dramatic. That was deliberately cruel. His voice cracked. I raised her better than that. 4 months later, her dad cut her off financially. She and Lexi had a massive fight. Turns out going live was Lexi's idea, and Lexi kicked her out. The company fired both her and Marcus after I sent HR the recording of her workplace affair confession. Last week, I booked that Italy honeymoon solo, sold the engagement ring, and bought myself a new gaming monitor with the money. My fiancé live-streamed her bachelorette party. He's pathetic in bed.
The morning I was declared cancer-free, my nurse smiled and said, "You were our favorite patient." Then I overheard her whisper, "Too bad she won't survive the treatment side effects." I froze in the hospital corridor. Did I hear that right? I turned back slowly. The nurse was talking to another staff member, clipboard in hand. Her immune system was completely shot. Give it 6 months, maybe less. My hands started shaking. I just spent 14 months fighting leukemia, chemotherapy every Tuesday, radiation that made me lose 40 pounds, my hair finally growing back in weird patches, and now they're saying I won't make it anyway? I stood there for a moment, trying to process what I just heard. Sarah, the nurse, who'd held my hand during my worst days, who'd brought me extra blankets when I couldn't stop shivering from the chemo, who'd stayed late to talk me through panic attacks at 2 a.m. She was saying I was dying, but Dr. Martinez had literally just told me my scans were clean, that my blood work looked remarkably good, that I could start planning my future again. Something wasn't right. I walked to the bathroom and locked myself in a stall. My phone was already in my hand. I pulled out my patient portal and logged in with shaking fingers. The most recent test results were dated 3 days ago. I scrolled through the numbers, comparing them to the normal range column. White blood cells, 7.2. Normal is 4.5 to 11. Hemoglobin, 13.1. Normal is 12 to 16. Platelet count, 220,000. Normal is 150,000 to 400,000. Everything was normal. Not just barely normal, solidly in the middle of healthy ranges. I took screenshots of everything. Then I remembered something. Last week, Sarah had pulled me aside after my appointment. She'd said, "Dr. Martinez was too optimistic about my prognosis, that I should consider supplemental immune support." She'd handed me a business card, Nature Heal Wellness Center. Said her boyfriend ran it. Said they specialize in post-cancer recovery. I threw the card away, thinking she was just trying to be helpful. Now I was thinking something else entirely. I left the bathroom and headed straight to the hospital director's office. The receptionist tried to stop me, but I kept walking. "I need to see Director Chen, now." The receptionist looked alarmed. "Ma'am, you need an appointment. Tell her it's about a nurse giving false medical information to patients." That got her attention. 2 minutes later, I was sitting across from Director Chen. "Miss Rodriguez," she said carefully, "what exactly happened?" I told her everything. Showed her the screenshots of my test results. Played the voice recording I'd been making since I left the bathroom. I turned it on the second I decided to come here. Director Chen's expression darkened. "Wait here." She left the office. I could hear her making phone calls in the hallway. Sharp, clipped conversations. 15 minutes later, she returned with someone else. "Dr. Martinez, my oncologist." "Amanda," Dr. Martinez said, sitting down next to me. "Director Chen just told me what happened. I need you to know your recovery is going exactly as we hoped. There are no complications, no concerning side effects. Your prognosis is excellent." "Then why would Sarah say, 'We're looking into that right now'?" Director Chen interrupted. "Can you tell us exactly what she said, word for word?" I repeated it. The director took notes. "Has she mentioned anything else to you? Recommended any treatments outside this hospital?" I pulled up a photo of the business card I'd photographed before throwing it away. "She gave me this last week. Said her boyfriend runs it." Director Chen and Dr. Martinez exchanged a look. "We've had 3 other patients mention that wellness center in the past month," Dr. Martinez said quietly. "All of them were told by nursing staff that their recovery wasn't going well. All of them were encouraged to seek alternative support." My stomach dropped. "How many nurses?" "We're investigating that now." Director Chen stood. "Miss Rodriguez, I need you to come with me. We're going to document everything formally. And then I need you to repeat exactly what you heard from hospital security." We walked back downstairs. Sarah was still at her station. I walked right up to her desk. "Sarah," I said, keeping my voice steady, "I need you to repeat what you just said about my survival chances." Her face went pale. I don't know what you mean." Behind me, Director Chen stepped forward. So did a security officer I hadn't noticed following us. "Really?" I said. "Because I have you on recording saying I won't survive 6 months. And I have my actual medical records showing I'm in perfect recovery." Sarah's eyes darted to Director Chen, to the security officer, back to me. I was trying to help you." "Save it." I cut her off. "I'm showing this to your licensing board and my lawyer." The hospital fired her 3 days later for spreading false medical information. Turns out she'd been doing this to multiple patients, trying to scare them into expensive alternative treatments her boyfriend was selling. My immune system's doing great, by the way. The morning I was declared cancer-free, my nurse smiled and said, "You were our favorite patient." Then I overheard her whisper, "Too bad she won't survive the treatment side effects." I froze.
What was the last straw that made you give up on your parents? I was born when my parents were 46 and my siblings were all teenagers. My mom cried when she found out she was pregnant. I know because my oldest sister told me years later, laughing like it was a funny story. They made it clear I was a mistake from day one. Growing up, I learned to stay invisible. I got my brother's hand-me-down clothes that were already worn out before they reached me. My birthday was always forgotten or celebrated weeks late with a gas station cupcake. Every school event, every awards ceremony, every parent-teacher conference, I'd scan the crowd knowing I wouldn't find them there. The empty seat with my name card became normal. I convinced myself if I was just good enough, they'd finally see me. If I could be perfect, maybe they'd realize I was worth their time. So I became perfect. I studied until 2 a.m. every night to keep straight A's. Made honor roll every semester for 4 years. I taught myself to cook so I could make dinner 3 nights a week, thinking maybe they'd appreciate it. Never complained about wearing my brother's decade-old sneakers to school even when kids made fun of me. I even gave up basketball, the one thing I actually loved, to play football, because Dad was obsessed with it. He played in high school and still wore his Letterman jacket around the house. I thought if I could connect with him through his passion, maybe he'd finally look at me like he looked at my brother. I practiced alone in the backyard every day until my hands were raw. Made varsity sophomore year, led the team in touchdowns junior year. Nothing worked. When I brought home a 98 on my chemistry final, Dad looked at it and asked what I got wrong. When I scored the winning touchdown at the homecoming game, I found out later they were in the parking lot watching my brother's college game on their phones. They didn't even know the score. My siblings weren't much better. They had this group chat without me. I only found out because my sister's phone lit up at dinner once with a message from the real family. When I asked to hang out with them during holidays, they'd make excuses or just ignore me completely. At family gatherings, they'd all disappear into the basement together while I sat upstairs with the adults who barely acknowledged I existed. Yesterday was Dad's 62nd birthday. Mom had been planning this huge dinner party for weeks. All my siblings flew in from different states. She made his favorite prime rib, bought a $200 bottle of whiskey he'd been wanting, even hired a professional photographer to document everything. She kept talking about how special it was to have everyone together. I spent the whole day helping. Set up the dining room, folded napkins into fancy shapes I learned from YouTube, made sure every detail was perfect. Part of me knew better by then, but I couldn't help hoping that maybe this time would be different. The dinner was beautiful. Everyone dressed up nice. The photographer kept taking family photos, and I noticed she kept naturally framing shots with just my parents and siblings. When I tried to step in, my mom said, "Oh honey, we'll get some with you later." We never did. During dessert, my sister Paula stood up with her wine glass and suggested everyone go around the table sharing their favorite memory with Dad. The stories started flowing. That fishing trip to Montana I wasn't invited on. The time they all went to Disney World when I was at summer camp. Inside jokes from before I was born. Everyone laughing at references I didn't understand. The photographer captured every moment. My family looking happy and connected. Like a perfect family portrait, except I was just sitting there, a stranger at my own family's table. When it got to me, the table went quiet. I took a breath and mentioned the district championship game last year. How I scored the winning touchdown in overtime. How despite everything, I dedicated that game to him in the post-game interview because he was still my dad. I was maybe 10 seconds into the story when my mom interrupted me. She didn't even let me finish the sentence. Just cut me off and said, "Okay, anyone else?" Her voice was cheerful, like I hadn't even been speaking. Then she immediately turned to my oldest brother and asked about his kid's soccer season. Everyone jumped on that topic, relieved. My brother pulled out his phone to show pictures. Dad laughed at something his grandson did. Paula refilled wine glasses. The photographer snapped away. I sat there holding my water glass, my unfinished story hanging in the air like it never existed. Just like I never existed. That moment crystallized everything. 16 years of trying, and I couldn't even get 30 seconds of their attention on someone else's birthday. I wasn't part of this family. I was just someone who lived in their house. This morning I woke up at 5 a.m. Today is my 16th birthday. I know they don't remember. I packed a bag with my important documents, some clothes, and the money I'd saved from my part-time job. I called my basketball coach from freshman year, the one who told me I had real potential before I quit. He said I could stay with his family while I figured things out. I left a note on the kitchen table, not an angry one, just simple. "I'm staying with a friend. Don't worry about me. You never did anyway. I'm done trying to earn love from people who never wanted to give it. I'm done being invisible in a house full of people who share my DNA. Sometimes the hardest thing is accepting that your family doesn't actually want you. What was the last straw that made you get..." During our divorce hearing, my wife smirked. "I'm taking 70% of your millions, including your dad's estate." The courtroom erupted until I stood, handed the judge a 2-page document, and said, "Check again." The judge simply looked at my wife and burst out laughing. 3 months ago, I caught my wife cheating with her yoga instructor. She filed for divorce immediately, thinking she'd hit the jackpot since we'd been married for 5 years. Lauren strutted into that Phoenix courtroom wearing a $2,000 dress I bought her, confident as hell. Her lawyer was already calculating his commission on what they thought would be a $4 million payout for my construction business and Dad's inheritance. The whole courtroom was packed. Lauren had actually invited some of her friends to watch what she called James's comeuppance. She'd been telling everyone for weeks how she was about to become independently wealthy. "Your Honor," her attorney announced, adjusting his expensive tie, "Mrs. Peterson deserves substantial compensation for supporting her husband's career growth during their 5-year marriage." Lauren actually winked at me from across the room. She thought I was just some heartbroken guy who'd roll over and pay whatever she demanded. Her friends in the gallery were practically grinning, waiting for the show. But here's what Lauren didn't know. 6 months before I caught her cheating, I'd started noticing weird charges on our joint credit card. Expensive dinners at restaurants I'd never been to, hotel rooms booked during girls' trips that didn't add up, designer lingerie purchases that never made it home. The final straw was when I found an $800 charge at a jewelry store downtown. When I asked Lauren about it, she said she bought herself a birthday present. Problem was, her birthday wasn't for 4 months, so I hired a private investigator named Frank. Best $5,000 I ever spent. Frank followed Lauren for 6 weeks. What he discovered was worse than I imagined. The yoga instructor was just the latest in a long line of affairs. There was also her personal trainer, a bartender from her favorite restaurant, and even one of my own business partners. Lauren had been using our joint accounts to fund these relationships. Expensive gifts, romantic getaways, even paying for her affairs gym memberships. She'd blown through nearly $50,000 of our money over 2 years. The 2-page document I handed Judge Ramirez wasn't financial records. It was Frank's detailed investigation report proving Lauren had been having multiple affairs for over 2 years, complete with time-stamped photos, hotel receipts, restaurant bills, and screenshots of explicit text messages. In Arizona, adultery doesn't automatically disqualify you from alimony, but it does when you've been systematically draining marital assets to fund your affairs. It's called waste of marital property, and it's a big deal in divorce court. The judge read the first page slowly, his eyebrows climbing higher with each line. He flipped to page 2, studied the photos, and then burst out laughing so hard his glasses nearly fell off. "Mrs. Peterson," he said, trying to compose himself, "not only are you getting nothing from this divorce, but according to this evidence, you owe your husband $47,000 for systematic misuse of marital funds." Lauren's face went from smug to confused to horrified in about 3 seconds flat. Her friends in the gallery started whispering frantically. One of them actually got up and left. Her lawyer immediately started packing his briefcase, clearly realizing this case had just become a career nightmare instead of a payday. Furthermore, Judge Ramirez continued, given the extensive documentation of financial misconduct, Mrs. Peterson will be responsible for all legal fees incurred by both parties. That meant Lauren owed an additional $23,000 in attorney costs. As we left the courtroom, I overheard Lauren frantically calling someone on her phone. "Mom, I need to move back in, and can you loan me some money?" But the story doesn't end there. 3 weeks later, I got a call from Frank, my private investigator. Turns out one of Lauren's affair partners was married too, and his wife had seen the court documents online. She filed for divorce and used my evidence in her own case. Lauren's yoga instructor lost his studio when his wife took half his assets. The bartender got fired when his manager found out he'd been using company resources for his affairs. Even my former business partner had to explain to his family why he was suddenly in the middle of a scandal. Lauren tried calling me last month, crying about how her life had fallen apart. She begged me to help her pay back the money she owed, claiming she'd learned her lesson. I told her the same thing she told me when she filed for divorce. "You made your bed, now lie in it." During our divorce hearing,
My teacher tossed me an embroidery needle. I never expected that this tiny needle would almost kill me. Turns out, it was forged from meteorite iron and weighed a staggering 800 pounds. She demanded that I use this needle to practice embroidery every single day. Only by doing this did I ever hope to become a Kung Fu master and win the National Martial Arts Championship. But my teacher still felt the...
Photo.
hearing aids to find out what my cool friends really thought of me. Growing up, I was about as far away from popular as possible. I was the shy deaf kid who sat in the back of class and communicated through ASL. But for some reason, I was best friends with Cade, Osser, and Wayne, who were literally the coolest guys in school. These were the kids everyone wanted to hang out with, who got invited to every party and had girls constantly trying to talk to them. For some reason, though, they learned sign language. They stayed after school for hours practicing signs until they got them right. When other kids would stare at me in the hallways, they would step in front of me like a wall. I wanted to trust them, but a small part of me was always anxious. Why would they be friends with me? A week after my 14th birthday, my mom handed me a small box. I opened it and saw actual hearing aids. I couldn't believe it. I hugged my mom as tight as I could and cried. It was the happiest moment of my life. I put them on and spent a few minutes just taking everything in. Before I left for school, Mom grabbed my arm with this worried look, like she'd been holding something in. Honey, those boys you're friends with are nice, but kids aren't always who they seem. Sometimes they're nice to your face, and she trailed off. Just be careful, okay? I pulled away from her. Mom, they learned an entire language from me. They're my friends. I knew she had a point, but I never wanted to think like that. These guys had proven themselves. I couldn't wait to get to school and surprise them. When I walked into school, I almost fell over. I heard lockers slamming, shoes squeaking. It was overwhelming and amazing at the same time. Around the corner, I saw my friends at their lockers. I was about to walk over and reveal everything when I heard Cade's voice for the first time. He was talking to Iris, the girl I'd liked since 4th grade. Come on, we need to go, Cade said urgently. He can't see us. My stomach dropped. I know, but I feel terrible about this, Iris said. Don't, as long as he doesn't find out. They rushed off down the hallway and into the staff bathroom. I stood there frozen. Cade knew I liked Iris. Mom's words suddenly echoed in my head. I planned to surprise them today, show them that I can hear. But now I needed to know what they were really saying about me. The rest of the day, my friends signed with me like normal. They kept asking what was wrong. I could see the concern on their faces, but I just kept thinking about what I'd heard. I didn't tell them anything. The next day before class, I spotted Cade and Iris by the water fountain. So, are you ready? Cade asked. I don't know, Iris said nervously. What if I can't do it? You'll be fine. We've done this 100 times. But what if he notices? He won't. Just meet me at lunch. They glanced around nervously before walking away. My chest hurt. They'd been planning this, and I was too stupid to notice. I started acting more distant with everyone, colder. My friends noticed immediately. Osar and Wayne kept signing, what's wrong? But I wouldn't explain. Maybe they were all in on it. Maybe I really was just the charity case. A couple days later, I caught Cade and Iris outside the cafeteria. Look, you're getting better, but it needs to be perfect, Cade was saying. What if I completely freeze up? Iris asked. Well, the dance is in 3 days, Cade said. You have to be ready by then. My eyes widened. That was the dance I'd been dreaming of going to with Iris for years. They were going to do something at it. I decided that's when I'd reveal everything. I'd show up, catch them, and drop the bomb. The next 3 days were torture. My friends kept trying to talk to me. They looked hurt and confused, but I couldn't tell them. On the day of the dance, I was at my locker. I was planning to avoid everyone until tonight. Then Iris walked up to me, alone. I looked at her confused, wondering why she was here. Had she realized her and Cade were caught? I looked behind her and saw Cade, Osser, and Wayne all watching from down the hall. Iris looked terrified and took a deep breath. Then out of nowhere, she started signing to me. I like you. She was concentrating on each letter. Will you go to the dance with me? Her hands were shaking. Her signing was rough and unpracticed. That's when it hit. I couldn't believe it. Cade wasn't dating Iris. He was teaching her sign language because she likes me and wants me to go to the dance with her. My friends weren't betraying me. They were helping her tell me she liked me. I signed yes so fast Iris laughed. Then I spoke out loud. I'd love to go to the dance. Her eyes went huge. I pulled back my hair and showed the hearing aid. I got these 3 days ago. I thought you were Cade. I couldn't even finish. The guys were already running over. Dude, you can hear! They started hitting lockers and jumping around. I'd never seen them act this manic. They were always so nonchalant and cool. Seeing them drop that for me felt just as good as hearing. Fast forward them completely. I got hearing aids to find.
Leave me alone. I'm just trying to.
Teachers, what's the dumbest thing a kid has ever tried? I had this bathroom pass system where students got 3 passes per semester, and if you ran out, you were stuck holding it during class. It worked perfectly at first, but then second semester, this kid Derek started asking to use the bathroom every single day. I reminded him he was out of passes completely since mid-January, and he said he knew, said he just hold it. But the next day he asked again, and I said no, and he just sat back down with no complaints, just went right back to his work like nothing happened. This pattern continued for 6 straight weeks, where every single day Derek would raise his hand and ask for the bathroom. I'd say no and reference the pass policy, and he'd just accept it and go back to work without arguing or making any kind of scene. I started thinking he was just testing my boundaries, trying to wear me down until I'd eventually cave and let him go, but he stayed completely polite the entire time. Then one Tuesday, the principal called me into her office with this weird expression on her face, half amused and half genuinely concerned, and she asked if I knew that Derek had been leaving my classroom every single day for the past 2 months. I actually laughed out loud and told her that was impossible, because I never gave him a bathroom pass, not even once. She turned her monitor toward me and pulled up security footage from outside my classroom door, started playing it back from February, and the footage showed Derek walking out of my room with the timestamp reading 1:47 p.m. right in the middle of my 5th period class. She fast-forwarded to the next day, and same thing, Derek walking out at the same exact time, and she kept going through day after day, where every single day showed the same pattern of Derek leaving during 5th period, always around the same time. I sat there completely confused, because there was no way I wouldn't have noticed a student just walking out in the middle of my lesson. I would have seen him get up and walk to the door and stopped him before he even reached it. The principal could see my confusion, so she rewound the footage and played it in real time to let me watch second by second. The camera showed Derek sitting at his desk in the back corner, and he raised his hand high, and I watched myself walk over to him and shake my head no, then watched him lower his hand before I walked away and turned my back to write something on the whiteboard. The exact moment my back was fully turned, Derek stood up from his desk, walked walked straight to the door, pulled it open, stepped out into the hallway, and the door closed behind him, and the whole thing took maybe 15 seconds from start to finish. She played another clip, and it was the same exact pattern where Derek asked. I said no. 4 minutes passed, then I turned to help another student across the room, and Derek got up and left, came back about 10 minutes later, and slid right back into his seat without making a sound. She showed me this happened 4 more times across different days, where each time I would turn away to write on the board or help someone, and Derek would use that exact moment to slip out completely unnoticed. The principal asked how I never noticed this happening, and honestly, I had no idea because I had 32 students in that class and was constantly moving around, helping different kids, answering questions, and checking progress, so I guess it never occurred to me to do head counts every few minutes. The next day, I called Derek up to my desk after class and asked him directly how long he'd been doing this, and he didn't even try to deny it, just smiled and said, since the very beginning of second semester back in January. Then he explained his entire system where he'd spent the whole first semester just watching me and studying everything I did because he noticed I had patterns and predictable habits like turning to write on the board at almost the same time every class or walking around helping students in a specific order. He tracked all of it and made mental notes and memorized my routine. Then over winter break, he came up with his plan, and when second semester started, he began testing it by timing exactly how long he had from when I turned my back until I would turn around again. He figured out he had roughly a 30-second window where I was completely focused on something else, so he started using it every single day for 2 months straight. He even admitted he didn't always actually need the bathroom, and sometimes just went to walk around the empty hallways or get a drink from the fountain or stretch his legs or check his phone, just wanted to get out of class for a bit. He gamed the entire system by being patient enough to study patterns that most students would never even think to look for, and I had to admit the level of planning was genuinely impressive because most kids can't plan what they're having for lunch tomorrow, let alone execute a 2-month operation requiring that much attention to detail. But I also immediately moved his seat to the desk directly next to mine for the rest of the year. Put him right in my constant line of sight no matter where I was standing, and he never asked to use the bathroom again after that conversation. Teacher.
I accidentally super liked my boss on a dating app. He called me into his office Monday morning and said he couldn't swipe right even if he wanted to. My thumb slipped while I was scrolling through guys' dating profiles on Saturday morning, and suddenly the premium swipe animation exploded across my screen. You super liked Connor, the notification announced, and I actually screamed loud enough for my neighbor to knock on the wall. Connor was my direct supervisor at the consulting firm, the man who controlled my assignments and performance reviews. His profile showed him at a charity 5K, the same race where our company had participated last year. The thing that made this worse was that I've had a ridiculous crush on him for 6 months. The way he rolled up his sleeves during long strategy sessions, how he remembered every detail from every meeting, the way he laughed at my terrible jokes during client calls. But having a crush on your boss was something you buried deep and never acted on. Certainly not with a super like that cost actual money and sent special notifications. I spent the weekend spiraling while stalking his dating profile like a masochist. He'd been active Saturday afternoon, then Sunday morning, then Sunday night. Each time I checked, my stomach twisted knowing he'd definitely seen the notification. My roommate found me lying face down on the couch at midnight, laptop open to job postings in other cities. Maybe he'll be flattered, she suggested, but I knew Connor was too professional for that. He once reported himself to HR for accidentally favoriting a coworker's beach photo on Instagram. Monday unfortunately arrived. I got to the office at 6 a.m., hoping to barricade myself in my cubicle before Connor's usual 7:30 arrival, but his car was already there, parked in its usual spot like a threat. I managed to avoid him until 10 a.m. when he sent me a message through Slack. Need to discuss the Hale account. My office. Now. The walk to his corner office felt like approaching a guillotine. He was standing with his back to the door, looking out at the city skyline. Close the door, Eloise, he said without turning around. His voice sounded strange, tighter than usual. I closed it and stood near the exit, ready to bolt. Sit down, he said, still facing the window. We need to talk about Saturday. My legs gave out and I collapsed into the chair across from his desk. Connor, I'm so sorry it was an accident. My thumb slipped. I understand if you need to report this to HR, I can transfer departments. He finally turned around and his expression was unreadable. You super liked me. It was an accident, I repeated desperately. I was half asleep, scrolling too fast. I didn't mean to. Eloise. He sat down at his desk, pulling out his phone. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. My heart was pounding so hard I was sure he could hear it. When you saw my profile before your thumb allegedly slipped, what did you think? The question caught me off guard. What? What did you think when you saw my profile? He was studying my face intently. Before the accident, I felt heat rising to my cheeks. I don't know what you want me to say. The truth, he said simply, because I've been sitting here since Saturday trying to figure out what to do about the situation, and I need to know if this was really just an accident, or if maybe, possibly, some part of you meant to swipe right anyway. The office suddenly felt airless. That's Connor. You're my boss. I'm aware, he said, leaning back in his chair. I'm very, very aware, which is why I've been driving myself insane all weekend. He ran his fingers through his hair, clearly frustrated at the situation I caused. When I saw your profile, I couldn't swipe right. He swallowed like it pained him, because I'm your boss. It would be inappropriate. It could ruin both our careers. But you super liked me, and for about 10 seconds, I thought maybe the universe was giving me permission, until I realized it was probably an accident. He stood up and walked back to the window. Was this real? Was he saying what I thought he was saying? But I need to know, Eloise, was any part of it real, or was it completely an accident? I stood up too, my legs shaky. I took a leap of faith. If you weren't my boss, I said slowly, I would have super liked you on purpose. I would have swiped right immediately. But you are my boss, so yes, it was an accident. My thumb slipped because I was nervous seeing you there and I was holding my phone too tight. He turned to look at me, something changing in his expression. Hope. I'm leaving the company, he said suddenly. What? I got an offer from another company 2 weeks ago. I accepted it Friday. My last day here is March 15th. The room spun slightly. You're leaving? He nodded, which means in 3 weeks, I won't be your boss anymore. The weight of what he was saying settled over the room. He wasn't my boss for much longer. So would you let me take you to dinner on March 16th? Yes, I said. I accidentally super liked my...
Is it possible to land a bottle flip from the very top of this cliff? I had the idea. Land right here, and I'm gonna throw a bottle flip and land it right down there. Okay, here we go. This will take me 6 tries max. Ready? 6 tries max. Land that one. Come on, land it. What's that, number 4? Bruh. Do you guys mind? What's this? This is number 5. This is the 5th try right here. This is number 5. Come on. Can that land? Oh, it landed on the fire. It landed on the fire. Oh my god, I knew it. I knew that was gonna be such a good idea, man. Is it possible to land a bottle?
My girlfriend screamed. My dad. Have you ever discovered you've been dating twins who've been switching places? Amanda.
My boss didn't believe I actually needed my wheelchair, so she decided to test me in front of the entire company. I've used a chair since college, after a diving accident left me with incomplete spinal cord damage. I can stand for short periods, walk maybe 10 feet on good days, but it's unpredictable and draining. Most people get it after one explanation. My new manager, Patricia, did not. It started with comments. "Oh, you're standing today," when I'd reach for files on higher shelves. "I saw you walk to the bathroom earlier," with this knowing tone, like she'd caught me in some elaborate lie. I tried explaining ambulatory wheelchair users to her multiple times, how disability isn't all or nothing, how bodies are complicated. She'd just nod with this tight smile that screamed she thought I was scamming the system. Then the meeting started happening in rooms without elevator access. First time I figured honest mistake. Second time I knew better. Third time she looked me dead in the eye when I couldn't attend. "But I've seen you walk before," she announced to the entire team in the hallway. I started documenting everything. Every email, every comment, timestamps, and witnesses. During our quarterly review, she closed the door and her tone shifted completely. Told me the company was concerned about accommodation fraud and that ambulatory wheelchair users were essentially lying about their real limitations to get special treatment. The air felt thin. This wasn't ignorance or lack of education anymore. This was deliberate. This was personal. I reported it to HR the next day. They said they'd look into it and scheduled a meeting for 3 weeks out. 3 weeks of still reporting to her every single day. The following week, Patricia announced a mandatory team building event at an escape room facility downtown. The second she said it, I asked about accessibility. She got this smile, this cold, satisfied smile that made my skin crawl. "It'll be a perfect opportunity for you to prove you actually need all these accommodations you keep requesting." Several coworkers looked uncomfortable. A few exchanged glances. Nobody said a word. Day of the event, I pulled up to the address she'd sent. Old converted building, charming brick exterior, and the escape room was on the 3rd floor. No elevator anywhere, just a narrow staircase with worn wooden steps. I sat in my car for 5 minutes, gripping the steering wheel, debating whether to just drive home and call in sick. But I was exhausted. Exhausted from proving myself, from defending my own body, from being treated like a con artist. I went inside. My entire team was crammed in the tiny lobby. 12 people packed into a space meant for maybe 5. The energy was suffocating. Nobody would make eye contact with me. They all knew. They all knew exactly what this was. Patricia stood at the bottom of the staircase like a bouncer, arms crossed, chin up, practically glowing with smugness. "Oh good, you made it," she announced, voice loud enough to cut through the awkward silence. Everyone's heads snapped toward me. "The escape room is upstairs, so I guess you'll have to walk up those stairs, or you can admit right now, in front of everyone, that you've been faking this whole wheelchair thing to get out of work." The silence was crushing. Someone's phone buzzed in their pocket. I heard traffic outside, heard my own heartbeat. Every single eye was locked on me. I saw phones coming out, people probably sensing drama, maybe thinking they should document whatever was about to happen. My coworker James looked like he wanted to say something. His mouth opened slightly, then closed. He looked at the floor. I pulled out my phone with shaking hands, put it on speaker, and called our HR director directly. Asked her to come to this address immediately and bring someone from upper management. Then I started talking, explained the inaccessible venue, the public confrontation, the setup, the months of comments leading up to this moment. Patricia's face drained of color. "This is completely unnecessary," she stammered, her confidence cracking. "This is just a misunderstanding." I was trying to encourage team participation. I didn't stop, kept listing everything while my coworkers stood frozen. Then something shifted. People started nodding, started confirming details. "Yeah, she did say that." I heard that comment too. The meeting room thing happened multiple times. HR showed up in 18 minutes with our regional VP. They pulled Patricia aside immediately. Turns out she'd been flagged twice before at her previous district location for similar disability discrimination issues. She just kept getting shuffled around with warnings and transfers instead of actual consequences. They escorted her out of the building that same afternoon. Security guard carrying her box of desk belongings behind her. She didn't look at anyone on the way out. I got her management position 3 months later, and my very first policy change was mandatory disability awareness training for every single manager in the company. My boss didn't believe.
Oh my god, bro. It's been 2 seconds and you already...
My coworker kept taking credit for my ideas, then told...
When I returned from the war, my family exclaimed, "You survived."
"Oh no, I already got a late start." "Okay, well, we'll just claim this room and hop into bed. We're already earning a few coins." "Oh crap, and here comes the monster. He's already trying to break down my door. What can I do? Let's repair it a little bit. Now let's put down some turrets. I don't even know if these are gonna cut it. Oh no, he's gonna break in. Yeah, we already lost right away. This spooky casual strategy game is called Silent.
Men who gave the creepy...
Hey, stranger.
Who is this?
Just a girl with 3 months to live who wants to complete her bucket list.
Is this some kind of joke?
Nope. Stage 4 cancer. Doctor said 3 months.
I'm looking for a couch. Ma'am?
Hey, stranger.
Who is this?
Just a girl with 3 months to live who wants to complete her bucket list.
Is this some kind of joke?
Nope. Stage 4 cancer. Doctor said 3 months max.
Wait, why are you texting me, though?
Picked a random number. Item number 7 on my bucket list. Tell a stranger my story.
So what's your whole bucket list?
1. See the northern lights. 2. Learn to play a song on piano. 3. Have my first kiss. 4. Make a difference to someone. 5. Ride a motorcycle. 6. Eat ice cream for breakfast. 7. Tell a stranger my story. 8. Watch the sunrise from a rooftop. 9. Plant a tree that will live after I'm gone. 10. Fall in love.
You've never been kissed?
Spent most of high school in hospitals.
How old are you?
17.
I'm 18. Your list is making me realize how much I take for granted.
Wow. I actually made a difference to someone. Item number 5. Check.
Can I help with any of the other things?
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Maybe because life is short. I could teach you piano, and I have a motorcycle.
But we don't even know each other.
I'm Jake. I like music and fixing old motorcycles.
I'm Emma. I like sunsets and painting stars.
Where do you live?
Chicago.
No way! Me too.
Must be fate.
I want to help you complete your list.
Sunrise from the roof was perfect. Eating oid, check.
An ice cream for breakfast.
Chocolate chip cookie dough at 6 a.m. Heaven. Eating receives, check.
Piano lesson tomorrow?
Yes, please. Jake?
Yeah?
Thank you for making my last month mean something.
Don't say that.
It's reality.
I don't care. We're going to finish your list. How was chemo today?
Terrible. I'm so tired.
I'm sorry.
Not your fault I'm dying.
Stop saying that.
Why? It's true.
Because I can't imagine a world without you in it.
You barely know me.
I know enough. I know you can play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star now.
Barely.
Eating Vertebradois, check.
Update on the list?
Northern Lights. Book tickets to Alaska next week. First kiss. Whenever you're ready. Motorcycle ride. Waiting for a good day. Tree planting. Got a baby oak ready. Falling in love. That one might be happening on its own.
Jake.
I know. Bad timing.
The worst.
Can't help it though.
Me neither.
The Aurora was amazing.
Best night of my life.
Check.
Doctor says I'm running out of time.
I'm coming over.
Now it's midnight.
Don't care.
I can't believe we planted that tree at 2 a.m.
Eating Nuranabi. Check.
The motorcycle ride was perfect.
Eating Racine. Check.
Jake?
Yeah?
There's only one thing left on my list.
I know.
I don't want you to kiss me because you feel sorry for me.
Emma, I'm in love with you.
Don't say that.
Why not? It's true.
Because I'm going to die and leave you heartbroken.
Every second with you is worth it.
I think I'm falling in love with you too.
Eating out of days. Check.
Not quite. Item number 3.
Are you sure?
I've never been more sure of anything.
Emma, please answer. The hospital won't tell me anything. I'm so scared. I love you. I visit our tree every day. It's growing so fast. I miss you so much. It wasn't enough time.
Is this Jake Mitchell?
Who's asking?
My name is Dr. Wilson from Chicago Memorial.
What's this about?
I'm reaching out about Emma Taylor.
Emma, she passed away 5 years ago.
There's been a mistake.
What kind of mistake?
The Emma Taylor you knew was part of an experimental treatment program. Her records were mixed up with another patient who died.
What are you saying?
Emma Taylor is alive, Jake. She's been in a medically induced coma while undergoing treatment. Treatment worked. She's cancer-free, and she's asking for you.
I don't believe you.
She said to tell you something you would understand. What? Item number 11. Come back to the boy who helped me live. Where is she?
I'm watching you read this from across the room. You haven't changed at all.
I thought I lost you.
They told me you visited our tree every day. That's how I
We're getting hit hard.
I really did fall in love with you. Standing right here. Will you help me with this? Item number 1.
The enemy only needs one more kill. Mission failed. Return to base.